Well, I went to Toronto, overpaid for beer, got to see the Lumineers at least, and I didn't get coronavirus. Overall, it was a pretty good week.
After high demand.
Listening to you and Justin, that's a professional podcast right there.
The man with a voice.
He's got a wicked voice on it too. He does. He's got oh my goodness. I listen to his voice. I'm like, dude, you can go places with that voice. You are freaking phenomenal.
Has his own podcast. And what does he think?
Oh,
BoyStick presents the Honestly Lazy Podcast.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honestly Lazy Podcast with your host, me, BoyStick. I know you were either listening to this either one or two ways. Either you're watching it / listening to it on YouTube at the HonestlyLazyShow YouTube channel. But if you type into that search bar, the Honestly Lazy Podcast, it will pop up and you will be able to listen. Or you're listening to this on Spotify, type in the Honestly Lazy Podcast into Spotify and it will pop up. And we are 3 subscribers away from 45 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're listening on Spotify, go to YouTube, type in the Honestly Lazy Podcast, and subscribe to the channel. I just want to get to at least 50. I said 40 last time because I was stuck at 39. I give a big shout out to my buddy Nathan Breeze. He gave me the 40. He commented in the comments down below that he was my 40. So thank you very much because that was making me stir crazy. I don't like uneven or odd numbers. So thank you for getting me to 40, but now I'm at 41. I need to just either get up to 42 or 45, and I want 45. Also give a shout out to the Bird. Dude's killing it. Keep up the good work. Don't give up because you are going to hit probably K subscribers very soon with the way your content's coming up and how much you are killing it. Shout out to Quinn Marr from Guys Being Dudes. Me and him just uploaded a vlog on BoyStick of my experience going on the radio with him. So I'd like to give a shout out to him. You can type in BoyStick. I think the video is called Try Not to Swear on the Radio. Go check that out on BoyStick and subscribe to that channel if you want because more vlogs are coming. I figured since I don't drink as much anymore, might as well just make vlogs and try to entertain you in that way. And shout out to everyone who just listens to the podcast. It's been a lot of fun making this podcast, and I'm more dedicated to try to get it up and going than ever. So might as well just keep it up and going by keep doing it. And since I said in the last podcast I wanted to make this more music related, why not do the next one about my experience seeing the Lumineers, which was an experience of its own because it was so unique. Just because of the way that the Lumineers have always done their concerts or just their music in general. And let me just tell you quickly how the Lumineers do just how they do their music. And this is the way I've just accepted the Lumineers. So they will release a song and like randomly you'll be listening to radio and say Lumineers just came out with a song and they'll just start playing it. And this song will be played nonstop because Lumineers will just do that for some reason. Just release one song. Don't announce or anything. It just pops onto the radio and it's there. And then next thing you know, they release an album. And then they release their tour dates for a world tour. And then they do the best thing ever. They disappear for 4 years and make you wait until they come back for another album. I guess pretty much another album. And they've done this successfully for 3 albums. They've been around since I was 17 years old. I'm about to turn 25 and all they have is 3 albums because they just go ghost for 4 years. And the anticipation and not knowing what they're up to scares me because you never know when it's going to be their last album. I could just randomly see them post on their Instagram a little note saying, "We broke up, peace," But I was glad to see that they were coming to Toronto, and I was very excited because my dad has been wanting to see them since their first album, and it was their 3rd album, so that's about, 12 years in my fucked up mind of math of my dad wanting to see them. I know it's wrong, it's a joke, just laugh at it. But it was a long time my dad's wanted to see these guys. And the last time they came to the bud stage. And I wanted to get grass seats, but my dad has a bad back. So it was pretty expensive to get seats. But this time they came to Scotiabank Arena. So I said, well, I'll do the nosebleeds if I really had to. And I will take my dad because he's been asking for years. Like, if they ever come, let me know. Let's get tickets. So this was the opportunity. I'm taking my dad. And unfortunately, I was at work when the tickets went on sale. So I told my friend to my price range, $100 a ticket, get 3 for me, my mom, and my dad. And just get an aisle seat because my dad's claustrophobic. $100 a ticket. And I got seats in the 100s, which to me was amazing. I could not believe I spent more money to see Eric Church in the nosebleeds, and these guys who barely come around were selling tickets at $100 for hundreds, which is pretty decent, pretty much near where I'd like to call general admission. But there were seats there too, but where the hockey players play on the ice. I don't know what the hell, the floor. The floor. I'm losing it. But I couldn't believe that. And on top of the fact, when you bought your tickets, you got a free copy of their album. I think that was just included with the ticket price, $100. Yeah, we'll just give them a copy of the album. And that was awesome. So my friend got me the tickets, told me she got an aisle seat and everything for me. And I was like, that's awesome. Thank you very much. And then the albums came. And I was stoked because at this point, the Lumineers came out with a short film with their album. And I still have yet to see it, but after the concert, I definitely really want to see it. And I'll get into that in a little bit, but this is a storytelling type thing, so I gotta keep going with the story. So I get the CDs, I take them up to my parents, and they did the thing that I didn't do, and they listened to the album right away. And I got a text from them saying, so we listened to this new album, and I said, oh yeah, how was it? And they said it was boring. Or no, they didn't say it was boring, they said it was slow. And that's when I realized, oh shit, I might have just spent $300, well $200, and my parents are not going to like the concert. Because the one thing I always wondered about Lumineers, because I didn't even know there was a website that I have now that you can check the set lists of artists. So when my parents told me this news, I started pretty much panicking instantly, thinking, oh my god, Lumineers are going to go on this tour for their third album and only play the third album. And why would I think that? Because it has actually happened to me before with an artist. They played their whole album, which was fine. I went and saw J. Cole and he played his whole new album, which was awesome. I still enjoyed the concert. My dumbass didn't listen to the album before I went, so I didn't know a lot of the songs. Still jammed out, still had a good time. But to my parents saying that it was slow, I was like, I need to listen to this album. So this was in November, and I didn't listen to the album until the night before the concert because I had other things to do. I was like listening to Luke Combs and Tyler Childers albums instead. Lumineers for some reason was not on my to-do list, but that concert just kind of popped out of nowhere. Literally, it was like my parents were like, when's the concert? And it was on the Saturday, and I was like, oh shit, it's this Wednesday. So I was like, that's not good. But the one thing that my parents, I think that because my parents said the album was slow, so that kind of freaked me out. So the night before the concert, I said, you know what, I gotta listen to this album because I need to be prepared if this is going to be a slow concert or not. And I listened to it, and I was like, this isn't even that slow of an album, really. Like, yes, it has slow songs, but what I realized was my parents have only really listened to the first album. And the first album was a lot faster paced than the second and the third album. But I've listened to the second one, and I've listened to the third, so I was like, oh, well, no, this is like the same old Lumineers that I have come to expect. But my parents didn't listen to the second album. They just listened to the third. So they were like, wow, this is a lot slower from the first album. So after listening to it, I was like, it's slow. But after listening to it, I was like, okay, I think they're going to have a good time tomorrow. The next day, I actually did go to work. And a guy who was at the work went and saw him. They had 2 shows. So the night that I listened to it was their first show. And I went the second night. And he said it was an amazing show. You know, they played a lot of songs. They do a couple cover songs. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. Then I was like, whoa. So I asked him what he thought of the third album. And he said the same thing. It's slow. But he's like, it's still a really good show. So I stopped stressing instantly. Because I was like, well, if he thought this new album was slow, and he still liked it, then my parents should really like the show. So the stress was kind of off my chest. So I kind of peeked there. So I decided to just kind of relax and just go with the flow at this point. I mean, I spent the money. My parents were going. So whatever happens. If I don't have a good time, I'll pretend to have a good time. If I have a great time, then yeah, I had a great time and it was worth it. So we get to the show, buy some shitty pizza. Actually, it wasn't shitty. It was actually alright pizza. But, you know, it was pizza from inside the Scotiabank. And I don't trust a lot of the food in any of the arenas like that. But it was decent food. We got there pretty early. We got our seats. We sat down. The one thing I'm really starting to like is, and this is what I've been noticing with all the concerts, is that unlike when I was in high school and I went to rap concerts, when you go to rock concerts and folk concerts and stuff, if they say they're on at 9 or 7 or whatever, doors open, the opener starts at 7, they're out at 7, which is great. So there was 2 openers to the Lumineers. And holy shit, the first one was something I kind of was like expecting something like this, but I was like, I was more like, okay, they're going to do something like, you know, it's totally different for an opener, and then I'm not going to be a big fan of it. And I'm going to have to sit there and listen to the openers and not really enjoy it. And the first opener was a 3-piece quartet, I think is what you call it. I don't really know. And a guy singing for a half hour. Or was it an hour? I don't remember. So in that time, my dad and I went and took a piss, and we spent $38 on 2 beer at the Scotiabank Arena. $38. That's a 2-for 2 beer. And then they asked us for a tip, and we respectfully said no. My beer was foamed up to shit. The only reason why I think it was $38 because it was the tall cans of Coors Light. But it kind of scared me because I've been to that Scotiabank many times drunk as fuck at a concert. And now I'm kind of worried about how much I've really spent in a night. Because I walk in there with 2 beer to start. And then usually I go back out and buy more beer. So I'm terrified to know how much I've actually spent at the Scotiabank Arena. I don't even want to know. I haven't checked my bank statements. I haven't been there in a year. So I probably couldn't now. But it's a terrifying thing to think, holy shit, I've been really drunk in here and I just kept spending money like I don't care. Terrifying thing and a terrible waste of money. First time being sober there, real eye-opener. But so the opener got through. I wasn't really like, the one thing I could say is that the singer for the 3-piece quartet, that guy could sing. Oh my god, could he ever sing? All I thought was like, dude, you are in the wrong band. Like I didn't even expect an opener be opera, but it wasn't. But I just make that because it was cellos and shit. But I did not expect that. And I did not expect him to have such a great voice. Honestly, he'd be great in a rock band. Like, when I heard him sing, it kind of reminded me of the same type of tone that Brett from Glorious Sons has. But I could tell he could have a bigger range than Brett from Glorious Sons could have. And it was like, oh my god, you could like really make good music or really different music or just very like I feel like he could make it if he got into the right band. So they finished. I didn't even get the name of them. They just kind of like came out to sing. The guy I think had stage fright or something, or he has like that like something like where because the lead singer did not stare at the crowd at all. He was staring at like one of the people playing the instruments, and he was just singing with his head down, staring at his feet. So he must have had stage fright, but oh my god, could he sing. And then the next numbers came on, I think an hour later, and they were called Mount Joy. MT Joy. Amazing. You know what? That was a good opener for what the Lumineers are, and it was a good way to get everyone in the mindset of what they were about to see with the Lumineers. They did really good. Good mixture of fast and slow songs. And there was not a lot of talking. They just played their songs, song after song after song. It was cool. Like, I don't really remember much of them. But besides the fact that I just remember, like, just feeling like, yeah, this is, like, what I really need before I see the Lumineers. This is the type of style that needs to open before Lumineers. Kind of like when Grandson opened up for Glorious Sons when I first ever saw him. That was a good opener to get people amped for the headliner. And that's why I felt like with Mount Joy with the Lumineers. So they play it for however long they play. And then then the Lumineers are on. Now the whole time there was this big curtain in front of half the stage, so the band still had a decent amount of the stage, but there was the Lumineers had their own set design, which was a beautiful set design. It's the best set design I've ever seen for a concert. Like not set design, stage design. The curtains came down and they had this a circular TV that kind of looked like a flower or a sun or something, and then they had two screens next to it with these beautifully wrapped like curtains, so they looked like windows, and in those would be either different angles of them playing, or if it was from their third album, they would play clips from the short film where the song was pretty much playing in the short film. So pretty much how every opener starts, it's dark as fuck, and then they brought the drummer up through the floor, and he's just doing a simple drum beat, and it started with Sleeping on the Floor. And to me, Sleeping on the Floor was a very slow song on the third album, or was it the second? It's the third album, it has to be. I'd have to look at it again. It's a slow song, but for some reason, I was amped after that song was over. It just, I don't know what, maybe it was the lyrics or the way they sing it or something, but after that song, I was like, yo, this is going to be an awesome concert. Even though it was a slower song, it was like the perfect opener song for them. Like, so the drummer comes up and he's playing, and that's all you can see is the drummer. It's all dark. And then the lights come on, and it's either they brought him up to the stage or there's those steps that he walked up, because he was just there, the lead singer. And he just starts singing. And oh my God, I've never been to the Scotiabank Arena sober, and this place actually has very good acoustics for the Scotiabank Arena. I've been like, I expect something like the Sky Dome or something. I've heard the Sky Dome has terrible acoustics. That's what I expected there, but it sounded good. And the Lumineers, even though they take, as I said, 12 years or 4 years in between for them to come out with another album, they still sound the exact same, and they keep that crowd entertained as fuck. And I'm trying to use up my swearing nowadays, but they're entertaining as fuck, and they deserve that. It was really funny during the concert when, I forget what song it was, but the lead singer was playing, and he screwed up the verse, and he's like, oh, I fucked up. And it's funny to hear a band like Lumineers swearing. Like Mumford & Sons, I'm used to it, but like when you hear Lumineers, like especially on the new album, when it's like, fuck you for leaving, it's like, oh my God, they're swearing. And he's sitting there, he's like, oh, I fucked up, let's go back. So it was funny to hear him swear, but he tried to go back to restart the verse. This was where it was really cool, and the crowd just kept singing the verse. So he just sat back and let the crowd finish the verse for him. That was a really cool experience, and just know that, like, I love it when a crowd does something like that, because you can see it on the singer's face, the biggest smile. Like, I don't have to do a thing. I could screw up every single song. This could be like a campfire experience for them. That was really cool. Another cool part about this concert is when they played Dead Sea. And Dead Sea is I always wondered what it was really about, and like where the title even came from. And he's like strumming it, you know, and he's talking about the song. And he said it's funny that people play this song, or when I meet people, they say they play this song for their first dance at weddings. And he said, so after we play tonight, if you have a wedding coming up, please consider playing this song as your opening song. But there was this really cool thing about the story behind it, and it's pretty much about how, in reality, he was in a long distance with a girl, and they really liked each other, but he was always on the road. I guess they broke up, but before they broke up, she called him the Dead Sea. Like, I love you so much, but you're like the Dead Sea. And he said, I stole that, and I made a song out of what she called me, and here I am, which was really cool. And obviously they did Ho Hey. It was like one of those things, and I got warned by the guy who saw him that if it's one of their really big songs, be prepared to stand up, because everyone stands up for him. So Ho Hey, they stood up, and he did 2 covers. He did Bob Dylan and I forget who sings it, but it's Democracy. And when he did Democracy, he brought the lead singers of Mountjoy and the guy before that, and they all did a verse with the lyrics popping up behind it. And that was a highlight for the night for me, like how they all sung it, because they all sounded so good. I was like, oh my god, can we have like just all you 3 sing the whole night? The one thing also that I noticed about the Lumineers that was really cool to me was the fact of they had this guy who's playing every single instrument. And of course, at the end of the show, they were introducing everybody, the fiddle, the drummer, all of them. I got all their names, and I forgot all their names. Jared and, yeah. But there was this guy in the back, and he was literally playing all the instruments. And they introduced him as, this guy used to be a roadie for us. And one day, while we were doing a sound check, we heard him playing all the instruments, and we just asked him to be part of the band. Like, that would be a life-changing experience for him, but that is just hands down that they just heard him playing, and they were like, yeah, you want to be on stage with us? And he just got the opportunity of a lifetime just because he was fucking around with an instrument. That was really cool to hear. The ender, like the encore, or there was a few really cool parts, like when he played Ophelia. He had the opera. He had this. He had the. Oh, what happened? Like there was a pause in the middle of the song, and the crowd went insane. For so long they were clapping. I was clapping. Everybody was clapping for so long. He had to, like, he was waving them like, calm down. I am not done the song yet. And that was when I was like, yo, this is an incredible experience. They had confetti come down from the roof during Ophelia, or was it Stubborn Love? Stubborn Love was the ender, but it was before that they had the confetti coming down. And like it was just an experience I've never had. I've never been to a concert where confetti dropped on me. I've been to concerts where they spilled or talked beer into the crowd, like, you know, splashing beer in the crowd. I've had water sprayed on me, but I've never had like the beautiful, like, oh, confetti's coming down, this is such a beautiful night. I've never had anything that crazy or that like different for me in a concert. So that was pretty cool. The one thing though that I have noticed, or no, I'm sorry, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. So he finished Ophelia. They did Stubborn Love for the Ender song, and oh my god, that was amazing. That was the best song to ever end it to, if you ask me. That's the song that everybody knew. That and Ho Hey, that was like the songs that everybody knew. And the fact they ended it with Stubborn Love was really cool. And when they were playing the one thing everyone noticed about them is when they were playing new songs, the new albums really specializes on alcoholism, because every time, you know, they play a new song, the background was the short film, people just chugging alcohol, which makes me really want to see it and see what the hell that's all about. But there was one thing that I really noticed, like, this is why I like General Mission shows more than anything. I can't believe how many people take pictures of themselves. Scratch that. I can't believe how long it takes people to take a picture of themselves at a concert. Because we were sitting right next to the stairs, or right next to the way out. I sat there, me and my dad watched these 3 girls take pictures for 20 minutes straight before the show. Like, how long does it take you to document that you were at the concert? Like, for me, it's a quick selfie. If I really am taking a selfie, I've kind of stopped all that. But how long does it really take you to take a selfie at a concert? You got to get that perfect angle. I heard him saying, like, the lighting isn't that good and shit. Like, these girls are professional photographers with their iPhones. I'm sitting here with a Canon, and I suck at photography, and they're doing better pictures than me, understanding lighting better than me, at a fucking Lumineers concert. Craziness. It was craziness. The concert, like, I can't believe how many people around me were just taking selfies, trying to make it, like, the best photo ever, just for their social medias. I didn't even take too many pictures myself, but, no, I took one picture. It's on my phone, and it's in the, wait, what was I going to say? Great, sorry, I lost my text. Or I lost it. Yeah, I blew it. I forgot. Sorry. Oh well, we're live. Screw it, we're live. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. How cool that concert was. But the only thing is, they did great. All right, they mixed it up perfectly. Nothing was too slow, nothing was too fast. Perfect pace for this concert. The one thing, though, is that they didn't play 2 songs that I wanted to hear. First one being Ain't Nobody's Problem But My Own. And this is a song that I'm actually learning on guitar for campfire season because I think it's a perfect pace song for a campfire. But Ain't Nobody's Problem But My Own. I love that song, but I figured they wouldn't play that song. The only time I've really seen them play it live on YouTube is when it was their first ever album, when they didn't really have too many songs to cover like 2 hours. So they would play songs that people have never really heard. But this one is recorded and it's on YouTube. And it's a really good tune. And I'm learning it for campfire season because it's just a good little acoustic tune. In this song, they actually have piano and stuff. But I just want to learn the acoustic version of it and play it at campfires. I think if Nathan Breeze, my buddy that I jam with, is listening to this, that's a song that we definitely should be putting on the list for You Know What. It's a good campfire song if you ask me. And they didn't play Submarine. At least I don't think they did. I'll have to check the set list. I'm pretty sure though that they didn't play. No, they didn't. They did play Cleopatra. That was awesome. They just Slow It Down was awesome. It was just like an overall, like, if you are even thinking about going to see Lumineers, just do it, because it's a great experience. Like, my dad even said afterwards, this is the really funny part. So they like I said before, they said the album was slow. Now that they went to the concert and it came back, they say, you know what, the album isn't that slow, actually. It's actually a really good album. Like, they didn't really like it, but now that they've seen and heard the songs live, they like it, which was the same way with me with a few Glorious Sun songs. I didn't like White Noise for the longest time, and now it's one of my favorite songs because I heard it live. But, like, they didn't play Submarine, and they didn't play Ain't Nobody's Problem But My Own. And those are the 2 songs. If there was ever a perfect set list for Lumineers, those 2 songs need to be part of it. Everything else besides it was great. I heard everything I wanted to hear, but those 2 songs, it was very, very upsetting. But like I said, I would recommend going to see Lumineers, even if you're thinking about it. They are well worth the money. They will always put on a good show, and they will always never let you down. I'm all over the place with this podcast. I'm sorry. I'm just remembering so much now. There was one point in the concert that really pissed me off. And here's what pissed me off. So there was one point where the lead singer just has a mic and he's walking through the crowd, walking up the 100s, right? So there's the 2 sides. I was right in the middle. So he walks through the crowd, up the 100s on this side. He walks down, walks right by me, and walks up the other one. I missed my chance. And how far he was going up, I could have been like, he's right in front of me. I could have taken a picture and been happy saying he was that close to me. Didn't walk up my section. And then there was the middle, like there was the stage came out in a triangle and he went right in where there was like general mission, where I don't know why they would put general mission here, because the stage came out and there was a little gap in the middle and they were putting people in there. But like, to me, your neck would just be cranked up, staring pretty high up, you know, to see the guys. But he did walk in there and jump around, sing with all the people in there. Maybe that was the song where the confetti came in. It probably was, but that was kind of cool to see him just walking around. It's kind of cool to see how far a microphone could go. Just for... Sorry, camera turned off. Just to see, like, how far a microphone could go without it just connecting or getting glitchy or something. But yes, if you want to go see Lumineers, please go see them. I know this was a mess of a podcast. I tried my best. I might listen to this and try to reshoot it again. This one's taking me a few tries just because I wasn't liking the intros, but I will try again if I don't like this one. It was too scattered. Maybe I should have done some key or cue cards. As my cat's trying to get underneath my thing. Hang on, I'll go grab him. Give me 2 seconds, please. Well then, here we boss. And he's over there. Okay, so you're going to hear some noises of him climbing up shit. But that'll do it for this episode of the Honestly Lazy podcast from Waylon and myself. If you like this, please leave a like. And if you went and saw Lumineers, please leave in the description, or leave in the description, in the comments down below, your own experience. And let me know if you really enjoyed them or not. And like I said, if you like this video, please leave a like. If you like this podcast, please follow on Spotify. And if you like it on YouTube, please subscribe on YouTube. Just trying to get some more subscribers just so I can be more motivated to do this Honestly Lazy podcast. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this week. If I forgot anything, I'll probably be mad at myself as I watch Waylon climb shit that he shouldn't be. That's terrifying. He's going to knock something over. I know he is. But until next time, it is your boy Stick, and I will see ya. Peace.